Okay. Hey guys. So how are we doing tonight? We are very excited about this episode that we are putting together for you tonight. I'm super excited. I just finished up earlier today. I did um a live, or not a live. I did a recording with Crime True Crime Weekly. And that's Dave. I always get his name wrong. Lannister and Stephanie Harlow, but he is from Breaking Homicide on the ID channel. He is a retired homicide detective, and he is amazing. I have always admired him. I've always wanted to meet him and talk with him, and I'm so glad I got to, because he's completely new to this case. Like, he doesn't know anything about it. So Stephanie has been, going down the rabbit holes and researching for quite a long time, but um he does not know hardly anything, so it's like he's looking at it all with fresh eyes, and it's really interesting to watch him as a detective looking at this case and trying to figure out what really is going on. And I think he does have questions about how this case was investigated, and I think he has questions about, well, do we know this, do we know that? I spent today trying to explain to him why we don't believe it's Munchausen by proxy, not medical child abuse. So he was interested in that, and I walked him through it. And by the time I was done walking him through all of the medical stuff, he literally said, I think you could be right, Fancy. I think this is a malingering case. He didn't know even what malingering by proxy was. He did not understand that there was a whole different other kind of thing that's not considered a mental illness, because it's not for the emotional gain. It's not for, being a savior complex or any of those things. It's really all just for financial gain. And he held me to the mat, I can say. He did. He asked me a lot of questions, and he played the devil's advocate many times. And I was able to, come back at him and be like, well, no, that's why. This is why. No, no. And once I showed him the malingering by proxy, and that the deciding factor between these two things is really the etiology of it and what is the motivating factor, he was like, very interesting, Fancy. And I was like, well, there's a lot there to go into. So I may end up being on their show a few more times, and I'm hoping that they will both. I know that Stephanie's already said she wants to. I talked to Derek about it, and he's on, he's really on board at looking at everything and helping me to look at this with a fresh eye. And so I'm hoping that they'll participate in the documentary, because now we've got Dr. Steele, our doctor. We've got Jude Yates, who's the criminologist. We've got Stephanie Harlow. She's been doing podcasting and investigating and things like that for a long time. I'm going to turn off the blur. Something is going on with this blur tonight, and I do not like it. But so they have, are you coming down?
Oh, yeah.
Do you need me to turn on the blur?
What?
Do you need me to turn on the blur?
No, I need to whip out my laser sword.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I'm just kind of sliding down the wall.
Okay. So this is weird. Why is it?
I'm so sorry.
There is something going on with this, my lighting and something. Yeah. Yes. Oh, Craig Sherman. Oh, he just did a pose for me. But I mean, so we really had a good long talk today. It went over 2 hours. And I don't know when they're going to drop it. They had the audio out for a while. They've had it out for a week or so, but they now have the audio and the video out on YouTube of their first episode. And they did quote me a couple times in there and talk about me some, So let me turn off this TV too, so that we don't have it in the background.
Are you serious?
What? What?
Oh, my clothes.
I know that. I had to dry Dad and my clothes. I'll put them back in for you and run them through the dryer again.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Okay. Go away. Yes. Oh, there. It was my mirror was my camera was blurry. Yeah, yes, Emily. Can I do my live now, sweetheart? Thank you. Yeah, she's important. She's important, guys. Yes, Emily, I'm going to do dishes tonight if you want to leave it down here.
It's down here.
All right, then I'll wash it. Okay, sorry.
I got into a car.
Emily, fantastic. Okay, that was weird. That what channel was it that I appeared on? Crime Weekly. But it hasn't come out yet. It has not come out yet. Hey, from West Virginia, Miss Marcy with an IE, not a Y. I always lag. I don't know why I lag on StreamYard, but I do. I'm sorry, guys. You're just gonna have to, deal with the lagging, and you'll have to watch the replay. Oh, I have a dishwasher. Don't worry, I have a dishwasher. So, all righty. Okie dokie. So tonight we found a little gem, and I don't know why I didn't look at it before. Like I said, I'm going to tell you guys, once I was given the medical records, I stopped looking at the case file completely. I didn't look at it at all. I also did not watch Nicholas's trial because I didn't feel like I needed to because I had everything. So he confessed. What did I need to know? Right? Like I didn't really feel like there was anything for me to be looking at until I started diving back into the case file this year, and I've always thought something was wrong. I always thought the bed was wrong. I always thought the crime scene was wrong, but I really didn't have all the things in one spot to kind of walk myself through it because I've got shit everywhere because it's sent in to me from this person and I collect it from that Facebook group and all of that. And so it comes to me in little pieces and I don't always. Oh, Squiggles, thank you so much. Thank you, Alicia. Thank you guys for the gifts. Thank you so much. We do have our tip the host down here. If you guys want to, you can do so through Cash App or True Crime Wives at PayPal. Also, our super chat is employed. So if you have a question that you really want me to see, make sure you utilize that so that I can grab it and put you up there and give you a shout out. So, but thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you. But we found this incident report from Waukesha. So that's from Wisconsin. And let me tell you, Amy, what do you think about this report before we get into it?
There's an awful lot of police. I know that were in these. I noticed how long of a wait it really was for
Yeah,
Nick.
especially Nick. Yes.
And then there's kind of just like things where, oh well, whoops, what? We couldn't talk to them? Okay, oh well. Kind of things like that.
Yeah, it was very interesting. Comparatively, between this report and the report we see from Greene County, it's vastly different. Vastly different to me. There is this many police officers listed, and I'm still not all the way through this. We're only going to cover the Gypsy portion of this tonight, and then tomorrow night or Wednesday night, I'm not sure which one, we're going to do the Nicholas pieces of this because I've been working all day and I have this many pages here, but I have not even gotten to the end. But there is, let me count them again. I want to, because I keep adding more and more police officers as we go along. So there's, oh, thank you. Jip wearing a fake belly. It changes so often. I don't know, Janet. I mean, I don't know on that one, Janet.
Can't figure it out.
I can't figure it out either. I think, honestly, I think she's doing it on purpose, using filters or something so that everybody will keep talking about it. I'll be honest with you because
she's got right now.
Yeah, exactly. Like Max said, it's all she's got. So, okay. So let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30 different detectives and deputies. There's a various couple of lieutenants, there's a captain, and then there is the tactical enforcement unit that was called out because they had a standoff with Gypsy and Nicholas. Now I always thought it was just with Nicholas, but it was not. It was with both of them. And there is 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 5 of them. So we're looking at 35 police officers on that. And it's like, what the hell? Because Greene County looks like schlumps to this. Like, I mean, their reports are all riddled with different kind of like conflicting
Right.
stories between the officers. They don't have dates and times right. They they gloss over certain things, and there's a lot of question about people that they didn't speak to, that they didn't follow up with. But in Waukesha, man, they have it down. They have it down.
Yeah.
So so go starting with this incident report, and I'm not going to show it today because the only one that I have is the redacted copy. I don't have the unredacted copy. Now we've asked for the unredacted copy, and it will be here eventually, which will be what we try to get into the third book, or possibly even I'm even seeing a fourth book of finishing this off first before we even go forward into everything else, what happened and did Nick and Dee Dee and more of that current stuff. But going through the case file and I did not expect Nicholas's trial to conclude as fast, or not trial, but appeal system to conclude as fast as it did this year. I did not expect them to release the autopsy in September. Even when we first started hearing that it was going to be released in September, we all thought they were going to put in an extension, and they didn't. So
Right.
I don't know. I had no clue that this much was going to come out all at one time. And so right now we're gathering it all as much as we can, and other people are as well. And we're having people send us in tips. And if you have a piece of something that we don't have, or that you think maybe we haven't seen because you got it before us, please by all means tag us, send it to us in a text, send it to us, in our email at tipsforgoodwives, all spelled out, at gmail.com. So I wanted to, go into that, but I also wanted you guys to know we have decided that we are going to postpone the tour right now. We just don't feel that we can promote it enough and get and do what we really want to do, because we don't want this just to be a book tour where we sign some books and we just, that's all it is. We want to put a show together. And so I'm really starting to get, we've got one non-blonde. She's working on it. Oh, thank you, Vanessa. Thank you, sweetheart. Appreciate you. We've got a couple different people offering to come out on tour with us, Jude, and we're trying to get Ryan to maybe do some local ones with us. And I've got, a bunch of different people along the way. Stephanie Harlow said she wanted to come out to one. Amy Ray Davis in Atlanta is going to come out. So we're trying to put it together. We may do some pop-up things here or there in October, but we're not sure what we're going to do with it yet. So I'm not going to really announce everything. But yes, we are going to be coming to Ohio, West Virginia. I mean, I have a full year of touring next year for our team. Even Morgan from Lipstick, Lashes and Lies is going to come out. We may even be able to fly in our new host with her. That is Emma from Canada. I even put a Canada spot on there too. I put a Canada spot because look, my bucket list has always been to go to Prince Edward Island. I fell in love with it from the Anna Green Gables books when I was very, very little. And I have always wanted to go there. And there is an opportunity for us to go up into Boston and Maine. And I thought, well, why not just John across, because it's right there. And we may even go to the other side of Canada as well. There's a lot of possibilities here. We are trying to get all the way across everywhere. And if we don't make it this year, this next year, don't worry. We will absolutely keep touring and expanding and touring and expanding, because this is not just the Gypsy show. This is a real true crime event that we're putting together to take across the country. And we're very excited about it, and so we want to do this right. I've tried to rush before. Thank you for the corn. Thank you. I've tried to rush before to do it, and I don't want to be put in that situation again. So I'd rather do this now and decide, hey, let's hold off a little bit. We're expecting to do a third and fourth book on this and a Nick book in January. I'm hoping to get my Nick book out in January. So yeah, I want to go on tour too. Peeps need to super chat. Thank you, Janet. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Is there a true crime version of Comic-Con? There is. There's a couple of them. CrimeCon is obviously the biggest one, but there's a lot of things about CrimeCon that I just don't like. And
Yeah,
I've heard
that's
this,
Illinois, Tracy.
yeah, I've heard this from a lot of different people of it, and we did participate in CrimeCon when it was the virtual one during the pandemic. We had a good experience, but we are actually trying, me and Brandy and a couple other people. I know Jeff Ignatowski, who does the serial killers for us, and he has the killers card game, and Jude and I have all been talking about this. Oh, thank you so much, Marcy, thank you, thank you.
Thank you,
So
Mars.
so we are, we've been talking about putting together our own true crime convention, because that convention specifically, it's always the same people over and over every year, and they are the ones that get the big shows. They get the big platforms, and then the podcasters and everybody else are just kind of shoved into a room, and you can walk through and talk to them, but like a regular convention. But they don't give anybody that's not in their little circle like a whole lot of time. So I really want to do this too for some of the people that I work with, that I know are really great presenters. They are wealths of information, but they don't participate in all the media hubbub. They just want to talk about true crime. They don't care about the likes or the views or the all that stuff. They just want to do their thing. Many of them are authors. So we're looking into putting all that together and kind of bringing that not only on a big scale, but then in a smaller thing across the country. So super excited about all that. All right. But without further ado, let's get into this timeline from the supplemental report from
Hey,
Waukesha.
Petals. Hey,
Hi,
Patty.
Petals. Hello, everybody. Are you guys able to unblock their words like you and the mods, Ames? Because I try to when I can, but I don't always see it.
I can't always see it, but
If I can't,
yeah,
if you see it, yeah. Okay.
I can only tell sometimes because it has the little eye.
Yeah, the little eye. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and we don't know why it does that at all, guys. Oh, hey,
They said it was
Starlight.
high fancy,
I
and they won't sell it.
I was talking about you today with Nicole, Starlight. I'm going to hit you up. I want you and Nicole to do a show for the network. I am so excited about it. I truly, truly want you to do that. We've got a couple new shows. I'm even talking with, I don't know if you know this, Mac, or not, but I'm talking with our ghostwriter, Mandy, about doing a podcast covering cults and doing with that. And we're really excited about it. That's one of her fascinated by them. I find out very much. Do I know who Julie Allen? You'll have to refresh me. I know a lot of Julies, so I don't know which one you're talking about.
Lady. Oh no, that's Debbie Allen.
That's Debbie Allen. So yeah. Oh, she said, Starlight said, heck yeah, you know where to find me. So excited. Yeah, for sure. Okay. Because Nicole likes to do that morning show, and I think that would be fantastic for them. Like I just think there's be a lot of things that Starlight and her could do. I'm excited. And okay, I'd back on the road. Message me anytime, Fancy. No problem, Starlight. No problem. Oh, Marcy, thank you. Marcy says, you're very welcome. Can't wait to see you in West Virginia. I'd love to bend your ear about the crime here in my town. So
what's happening with Lily Black?
What? What's going on?
It just shows her repeated over and over on my TV, but maybe not.
Okay.
It just says hello.
Yeah, I'm going to come to West Virginia. That is on the tour. That is on what we're planning for next year. Yep. So thank you, Marcy. Appreciate that very much. And you can send in anytime. Like I said, if you have cases that you want us to look at, things that you want us to talk about, absolutely send them in. Send them in. So I always love looking at new cases. In fact, Amy and I had a case that was brought to our attention recently from 1987 that we are going to be diving into. So we'll be talking about that one. That's Arizona versus Morrow. And it is an interesting case. It is very interesting. It truly is. I did a little clip about it the other day. because somebody mentioned it and they did not have the right information about it. So I wanted to make sure that you guys knew the correct information about that case. And then we're going to dive into it too. I'm not sure if Oklahoma City is on the tour yet. I'm trying to fit in as many as I can, but I mean, it's a lot, guys. It's a lot. Okay, so starting with the incident report, it comes out, and this is one report all the way through, and it's various different people. So it's very much like the case file for Gypsy and the case file for Nicholas. And I started it off with at 12:18 a.m. Dee Dee's body is discovered in Springfield, Missouri. And I think that it's very interesting, this timeline, because we remember now there's this problem with the autopsy stating that, she was pronounced dead 10 hours before that. And there's a lot of questions that go on there. But at 12:18 is the official time that they go into the house, they find Dee Dee, and they start beginning to, realize that this is a murder, and that there's a child missing, that they think is a child missing, they're not sure. What I did find very interesting is very quickly, they did have her age at 19. And by, I think, the time that Hancock and Mahaly arrived in Wisconsin, they knew she was 23 at that point. So it was a breaking like news through, each did a little piece as they were going through this. And I'm going to try and walk you through it from timeline to timeline as quick, as good as possible. But there are certain times that I go backwards, because the reports weren't in order of timeline. So, but most of them, I have them in order. So at 12:18, Dee Dee is pronounced dead. She's in there. She's dead. Her body's been found. And by 1:53 a.m., now they are on the same time zone, I believe. No, I'm sorry. So it's central. So it's, so it's even closer to the time. So by 1:53, which would be 12:53 in Missouri, but it's 1:53 in Wisconsin, they've already contacted and they're already dispatching. Deputy Stephen Lyles is dispatched to Nicholas's house on Cherry Street in the village of Big Bend, in an assisting Greene County in locating suspect Nicholas pertaining to a murder that occurred earlier in the day. And thank you, Janet, so much. The TEU is dispatched to handle it as well. So the TEU is the Tactical Enforcement Unit. So that's SWAT. And if they have to do negotiations or anything like that, with the suspect, they're who are called in. So, all right. So it starts off as being a welfare check on Gypsy. And there are several deputies listed on this. And there is a Lieutenant Ohm, that was also dispatched with them out onto the scene at Nicholas's house. So 1:53 a.m., 12:53 a.m. Missouri time. All right. So they believe that at this time, they knew that Gypsy and Nicholas had most likely met online. They knew that Gypsy was wheelchair bound and her wheelchair was left at home. They knew that the victim was deceased from multiple jab wounds. The Facebook post on Gypsy's mother's profile indicated that Gypsy could have been raped and murdered herself. They are briefed on the situation before heading out to the residence. And so then the first two deputies to go out there is Deputy Scar and Deputy Zimmerman, and they go to the residence. Lieutenant Ohm tries to contact Nicholas's cell phone provider to ping Nicholas's phone. And throughout the morning, it is pinged and it comes back to being inside the residence. So they do activate TEU at that time once they realize that Nicholas is in the actual home. So then Lyles is released from being on scene, and he goes to conduct traffic control at Park Avenue and Cherry Street at Edgewood Avenue. So that's the intersection. They section off the entire neighborhood. And if you guys remember, a while back, one of the girls did a walkthrough of the neighborhood, showing us, because she lives in Nicholas's neighborhood, and she was showing that they couldn't go down this street or that street, and basically showing that they had sectioned off a pretty large area. And they had even they commandeered the elementary school across the street for a command post for them. So they were taking this very, very seriously.
Very serious.
They believed Nicholas was a very bad dude. They did not know all about his autism yet. They didn't know about all of that. They just knew that he was suspected to be armed and dangerous. And they didn't know whether Gypsy at this time was a suspect or if she was a victim. They were not sure. And so they were trying to get all of that that done um, in that time period, is trying to figure out what was really going on. So they're going back and forth between Greene County and the sheriff's office in Waukesha. So they're going back and forth trying to communicate this out as information is coming in from both sides. So about 5:30 a.m., a deputy, Knepper, I think is his name, responded to the possible tactical situation. So he's TEU. He responded to where they were staging. The staging area was at Big Bend Elementary. They labeled Nicholas as a homicide suspect, also possible kidnapper of 19-year-old Gypsy, and they believed he was holding the daughter hostage. So Stephanie exits the residence with a dog along with Charles sometime in between here and 7:45 a.m. And when they talked to Stephanie later, they asked her, why did she come outside? And she said that her friend in the neighborhood had called her and said, hey, there are police on the street. Do you know what is going on? So she came out with her dog and she went to the backyard with the dog and saw that they were all out there. And then a few minutes later, Charles actually comes out as well. And he walks to the backyard and they have a conversation and they're trying to figure out what's going on. And Charles does start to walk towards the deputies, like right towards them. And then command begins to advise them to take them into custody. So the TEU van approaches and they cornered both of them in a breezeway between the garage and the side door. So this is very serious. They said that they looked like they were trying to go back into the house. They told them they could not. Then they had them lay down, on the ground, and then they took them and got them over to the safe area inside, and they were held inside of the elementary school. Okay, so hey Laura Lynn, hey everybody. So basically, Quinn, the 7-year-old, is still inside. And Stephanie is who told them, and they asked her, is there anyone else in the house? And she said, yes, my 7-year-old son is. What?
I just said hi to Lauren.
Oh, my 7-year-old son is in there. And my other son and his girlfriend are upstairs. And so they get Quinn to come outside. And Quinn comes down, and there are guns already pointed at these people. There is already a whole brigade of people there. I cannot imagine what Stephanie and Charles and Quinn all felt in that. I cannot imagine how scared for a 7-year-old little boy this was. Gypsy thought of no one but herself. No one. So the deputies find out that Nick and Gypsy Rose are in the house in an upstairs bedroom. So they issue numerous verbal announcements to the residents, stating that Nick was under arrest and that he needed to come downstairs. He needed to walk to the top of the staircase with nothing in his hands and hold his hands above his head. Nick does not comply. He does not come out. Gypsy does not come out. So they've got, command did request that we covertly clear the main level and the lower level of the residence. So when you walk in, there's a staircase that goes up. It's right, kind of like mine here. They said it was immediately a staircase that goes up, and then it goes into the kitchen. And then I guess there's a downstairs level and an upstairs level. It's a Cape Cod. Nicholas was up in the attic level, so it's like a downstairs and upstairs, and then, a downstairs, a main level, and then the attic area, which is where his room was. So they do then deploy a video device into the upstairs level because neither one of them are responding. Nobody's coming out. And it does show in the main area of the upstairs level that they contained toys, and the door on the right-hand side of the home was closed, and they believed that Nicholas and Gypsy Rose that's where they were located. So they were hiding in this room and not responding. So a little bit of time goes by. They're calling out to them, please come down, please come down. Nobody's responding. So they do a flashbang. And so it was deployed to get some sort of reaction from Nicholas and Gypsy. And they begin to hear movement upstairs at that point. And Gypsy, in her very quiet, very high pitched little voice, says, I'm okay. I'm okay. And so then she was instructed to come to the top of the stairs. And so she does appear, and they had her come down the stairs and they removed her. So Nick still does not respond yet, and he does not come down the stairs yet. He eventually is told to come again to the top of the stairs, and he tells them that he wants to just ask them a question. He doesn't want to come down. He says, can I ask you a question? And they keep telling him to come down. He comes about halfway down the stairs, and then they told him to turn around. So he did. He turned around. He put his hands up. But then as he's asking them, can I ask you a question? Can I please ask you a question? He starts to put his hands down. So they grabbed him by his actual shorts, his basketball shorts.
Well, they thought he was going to go up the steps.
Yeah, they thought.
I don't know.
Right. They thought he might turn and run back up the stairs because he started to look up the stairs and it looked like he was going to go. So they grabbed him, and they were able to bring him downstairs. They immediately handcuff him. Meanwhile, Gypsy's not handcuffed yet. Not at all. She doesn't get cuffed until much later, but Nicholas is treated this way from the second. He is handcuffed and taken into custody, and he is arrested. She's not arrested. She's held to be a witness at this point. She is not arrested. So they were very, very aggressive with this family. And I understand, but I mean, it was 1:53 in the morning when you started this, and by 5:30 in the morning, you're banging on their front door. They didn't know what was going on. None of them knew what was going on. It was just very upsetting to all of them. So Nick comes down, he's taken into custody, and there are some things that happened in between. There was an advisement to Detective Scar and Deputy Zimmerman from the TEU that they should bring a ram. They at 3:56 a.m. they took up a positions across the street and set up the command center so that they could see movement in the house. And about 7:45 is when Stephanie came out with the dog. And by that point in time, they've got Stephanie, and they have SWAT there. They told that they're to lay on the ground as the SWAT team pulls up into the driveway and takes them, and then escorts them over to the command center and where they're being held. So they hole up in the elementary school. So then they get Nicholas. They take him immediately to the station. They take Gypsy to the station as well. And there is some stuff. Let me go flip over here, because the deputy does talk about this. The man who escorted her, he's alerted about the situation about 7:30 a.m. He begins contacting Greene County, and he's advised that the tactical team had just detained several people outside. So he tells them, Joe Fletcher from Greene County, that they have detained a couple people, but they still don't have Nicholas and Gypsy yet. And Fletcher then sends over the probable cause statement for Nicholas to be arrested. So then they wake up the DA, Kevin Osborne is given the probable cause statement, and by 9:40 a.m., Judge Dreyfus in Wisconsin issues a search warrant for the home. Now, his timeline is really weird here. This is the only time that I see anything that seems very suspicious to me at all, because he goes from saying that he's contacting the detective in Greene County, and then his next sentence is about going to the airport and picking up Mahaly and Hancock. And he doesn't give a timeline in between the two. But then he adds that at 9:40, he's at the judge's. So I don't know if he'd already picked up Mahaly and Hancock and went to the judge with them, or if, I'm sorry, my nose is just itching the hell out of me tonight.
Welcome, Wendy, to here. I was just their first live. So
Oh, well, thank you. Welcome. So, there's a little bit of a wonkiness, and I don't know exactly when they picked them up from Mitchell Field Airport yet. I'm going to see if I can run that down some more. But they don't start questioning Nick and Gypsy till approximately 11 p.m. on 6/15. So almost a full, day later than, than Dee Dee's body being
It
found.
was a long time.
It was a long time. So going back now, at 2:20, I'm sorry, at 11:50, Deputy Dorn is asked by Lieutenant Beale to take Gypsy to the hospital. And when he does so, he gets some information from her, but unfortunately, in the redacted version, it's hard to tell what it is she's actually telling them. But she's talking about her medical problems. I can't remember what page that was, Amy. Do you remember? Was it 29?
Mhm.
I think it was 29. Yeah, here it is. Okay, here it is. Okay, so it's on page 40. Okay, so he tries to put this in here, and this is why we need the unredacted version. I mean, I can kind of give you a little bit. He said, I then transported Blanchard to the command post area, which was behind the Big Bend Elementary School. I remained there with Blanchard until I was later directed by Captain Dussault and Deputy Inspector Misko. That's 2 I didn't write down, so that's another 37 now. We're at 37 officers and detectives to transport Blanchard to the sheriff's department. I then cleared the command post area and transported Blanchard to the Waukesha Sheriff's Department. He said it should be noted that while en route to the sheriff's department, I did check with Blanchard to see if she needed any medical attention, because they get this report that she's a 19-year-old girl, wheelchair bound, her wheelchair was left behind, all that. So they don't know what the heck is going on.
It's been like an hour. Should my phone be okay?
Maybe turn it back on and see what it does. Will you get me some soda or
Should I
some
leave
water?
it longer?
I would leave it a little longer,
I
honey.
can't leave it overnight though.
No, that's fine.
Because I need my alarm.
I know, but I think you need it to be in there for at least another hour. Okay, so sorry, she dropped her phone and her phone barely into soup, but into soup still.
I dropped my phone in ramen and it sounded weird.
We just have rice.
Yeah, we have rice.
Yeah,
we put it in rice. Right. So, they were arrested in between. Let me go back and see here if I can see when they actually took Nicholas, and it has to be. It was around like 11 or somewhere between 9 and 11, because 9:40 is when the issue went out to search the house. So I'm assuming it's somewhere around there. I don't have all the 100% pieces of it. I'm sorry. I did my best to take the notes that I thought were the most important. So, and so he notates here that Blanchard advised him that she was in good health and she didn't need any medical assistance. So then when he says, well, do you have any medical conditions? Blanchard advised that she has blah, 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 blah. I don't know what it says there. She also advised him that since she had come to Wisconsin on Saturday morning, she did not have her medication with her and had not taken any. She also advised that she had, this is where I think it says feeding tube. She advised that she used a feeding tube, but also advised that she could eat some soft foods like mashed potatoes. She advised that she had cancer, and she advised, she advised something, and she said that was a direct result of having cancer. I'm assuming maybe that's the shaved head. I don't know. Up to the age of 5 years old, and then she advised that since the age of 5, she had been in remission ever since. So I don't know exactly what she's saying there, but it's basically her trying to kind of minimize this stuff at this point. If there was ever a time for her to be like, oh my God, yes, my mother abused me, it would have been right there. That was the first opportunity she had. She was alone with an officer who was being nice to her. She was not handcuffed. She didn't think she was under arrest. Nothing. She could have easily said right there, my mother is abusing me. And she didn't. Nope. So upon reaching the sheriff's department, Blanchard was taken into what they call the soft interview room, which is interview room 3. Nicholas is placed in interview room 2, where she remained until he was relieved by Deputy P. Bowman. And prior to turning Blanchard over to Deputy Bowman, they did check again with Blanchard to make sure that her medical history was covered. And in speaking with her at that time, she did advise that she had this and she advised that she had that. And when asked if she had her medication with her, Blanchard stated no. She advised that the something along with her medications had all her wheelchair along with her medications had been left down at her home in Springfield, Missouri. When asked if she knew all of her medications that she was on, Blanchard advised that she did not know them all due to the fact that her mother, Claudinia Blanchard, had taken care of all of her medications for her. And this information was passed on to Deputy Bowman. And that concludes his contact with Miss Blanchard. He does come back to say, though, that he failed to report that she was very cooperative and she was, seemed very nice in that period of time. She wasn't combative or anything. So that's what goes on there. Hey, Morbid. Hope everyone's having a great start of the week. New medical info here listening. It's not just medical info. So this is really interesting. This is the supplemental report that I'm reading from Waukesha that we have. So by 11:50 p.m. Or a.m. By 11:50 a.m., Deputy Dorn is asked by Lieutenant Beale to take Gypsy to the hospital. So she goes to the hospital. At 2:20, she was cleared from the hospital and taken back to the station. So they're there for a good long time. Meanwhile, Nicholas is sitting alone on a rickety-ass chair with his hands cuffed behind his back the entire time. I just want you guys to keep remembering that. Think about her and think about him and how he was treated and how she was treated. He has an actual proven disability that the state deemed him fully disabled. He is not able to hold a job. He is not able to, to really do well in school or anything like that. He is very diminished capacity, according to them. What'd you say, Ames? Fully disabled, right? So by 2:20, they have her taken. She gets cleared. They don't find, they say that there's nothing. They don't believe that she has anything. So I still don't know whether she is telling the truth. Thank you, Lauren, about taking the pain medication or the Xanax or any of those things from her mother. I don't know, because we still do not have confirmation from them that there's nothing in her system. But my whole thought process has always been, well, of course there was nothing in her system because it would have shown up in her medical records. But then I realized, her medical records stopped pretty much in 2011. And then beyond that, she didn't detox. But what I've found out from talking to different people that were in prison with her and in the jail system with her and several of the officers and stuff, that she was actually on Suboxone, which is one of the things that they use along with like methadone to help people who are addicted to narcotics to kind of come off of them and go into a program to getting them healthy and off. So by 2:27, she is returned to the soft interview room. Now, they have put her in cuffs on the transport, but they uncuffed her immediately. And she lays down on her pillow, on her fishy pillow that the first responders brought her. Abby, you never brought my drink back. Yeah, I asked you to put soda in there for me, remember? And I gave you my cup and you went in there. No? Nothing?
Mama needs a drink.
Yes, she did say she was about to get surgery, and that's what triggered her and Dee Dee arguing. That is not true. There was nothing planned. After 2011, Dee Dee was no longer interested in pursuing any more diagnoses, nothing. They knew why her palate was, she had the high palate. It came from the chromosome disorder. They knew why her voice was high. So that whole story is bullshit. Total bullshit. You like emptied it out, and great. Thanks, Abs. So yeah, to get she says that, Rachel Allen here says she's on Suboxone and she has been in recovery for 5 years, and she thinks that Gypsy was using Suboxone to get high, because she doesn't think she truly was an addict. And see, I don't think she was truly an addict either. I don't either. I truly don't believe it. Now, I want to talk for a minute about that since you brought it up, guys. The actual video, or the actual medications that were taken out of the medicine cabinet, or there's Abby, everybody say hi, out of the medicine cabinet, we thought that they were DDs because that's what's indicated in the autopsy report. They're mostly are not, but they're mostly are two very specific things. They're both oral through the mouth. They're all both like oral liquids. That's what I was trying to say. And the one is Tylenol with codeine, and they had a whole shit ton of that, and that's the one that was labeled Sleepy Baby. And then the other one was labeled in liquid form, Tylenol with codeine in liquid form, just prescribed to Gypsy. Wow. And all those bottles that were lined up that were full, that is them. They've been stockpiling it forever. And the one that's found on Dee Dee's side of the bed is that one, the Tylenol with codeine. So that's really interesting that she was not found with any narcotics in her system, because she had Gyp's little freaking Sleepy Baby right there. On the other side is the Shaky Baby, and the Shaky Baby is the actual medication for her seizures. And I wrote it down somewhere, and I talked about it the other day, but I don't want to go back and look for the name of it right now. But that was the seizure medication, and it was also in liquid form. So that's what they collected. So again, Chrissy's lying about nothing being collected in that thing, and that they had to break the lock and all that shit. That's not true. It's not true. Sorry, Christy, not true. Can prove it's not true. Not true. So at 2:27, they uncuff her, they return her to the soft interview room, and now Deputy Dorn is sitting with her, and he sits with her until 3:15, when his second shift comes in and relieves him. Between 3:15 and 3:30, there's, they're running each other down with what is going on. Gypsy's unrestrained, and the entire time from 2:27 to 3:15, Deputy Dorn indicates that Gypsy took a 45-minute nap. So that was the first nap. I want you guys to keep track of the naps. Okay. First nap, 45 freaking minutes. She gets back from the ER, to the hospital. And she just immediately is like, I'm going to scratch out, for 45 freaking minutes. Meanwhile, Nick, again, is sitting on a rickety ass chair with his hands cuffed behind his back. Okay. So, the medical paperwork and prescription for her Xanax was turned over to the second shift. So that's what they prescribed her in the hospital, was Xanax for her anxiety. Oh my goodness, I'm so anxious. Yeah, I bet you are. You just unalived your mama. So, but she's cool as a cucumber. She thought she was going home, folks. Just remember, she thought she was going home. Here, that I could go maybe watch. I'm hoping that I can catch the newest Star Wars.
Is there a movie theater around here? My word.
Oh God, Natasha Cooper is live with a ruby wig on. Fantastic, because that's that's what she does, and here is what we do.
These things are taking people. It's pretty.
Like, that's her back. She's over there with a wig on, doing Ruby with a wig on, and I'm sitting here going through a supplemental report. Like, we are not the same. We are not the same. All right. So Dorn adds that.
You could dress up like real Gypsy if you wanted.
Right. So Dorn adds that Gypsy walked fine and never asked for a wheelchair. So he's saying, she walked from the soft interview room to the squad car, from the squad car into the hospital, all over the hospital, from the hospital back to a squad car, and she walked all the way back to, the soft interview room. Just fine, no weakness. I'm fine. I'm good. I don't need a wheelchair. I'm good. No, thank you. No. Okay. So 3:15, Deputy Coates relieves Deputy Dorn at Lieutenant Goldman's request. And by 3:30 p.m., Coates begins watching Gypsy. From 3:30 to 4:41, so an hour and 15 minutes here, guess what Gypsy does? Amy, have any idea what she might do?
Is it take a nap?
Yes, she sleeps. Yep. Second time she's sleeping. She's sleeping again. That's number two. Number two. Drop a 2 in the chat. Drop a 2 in the chat so you're following along. Drop a 2. All right. Make sure that you're tapping and liking and sharing this out, guys. It helps us get out in the algorithm. Thank you so very much. Thanks for all the super chats. Thanks for all the donations. Thanks for all the gifts. I'm really appreciating it. All right. So Coates gives us a lot of information. He is amazing. Okay. He was paying attention. He is taking notes, man. All right. So at 4:41 p.m., Lieutenant Essex enters the room and he wakes Gypsy up and asks Gypsy if she needs anything. She says she's not hungry, but can I get a blanket? I'd really like a blanket. I wonder when Nicholas got his blanket because we don't have that yet. And before this, the recording devices had not been turned on in room number 3. So they recognized that had not been going on. And I'm not taking anybody in the box right now, guys. Maybe after we're done. Okay. She says she's got a blankie. Now she's got her pillow, her little fishy pillow. Yep. She's doing great. Okay. They turn on the recording now. So this is when we first begin seeing Gypsy sleeping in there and doing all the things. Okay. So at 4:55, a correctional officer comes in and gives Gypsy a blanket. And guess what Gypsy does? She immediately goes to sleep. So we're in our third nap. Drop a 3. We're on the third nap.
Siesta. Okay.
Another siesta. I mean, she is just tired, folks. I mean, pooped. Just so pooped from this, just, oh my God. So at 7:53, so 4:55 to 7:53, guys, 5:55, 6:55, 7:55. Three naps, and this one was 3 hours long that she's laying there just snoozing away while Nicholas is still handcuffed and sitting on a rickety ass chair alone.
Will I be able to
Hold her.
Can I hold her again? Is she okay? Is she back from the hospital? I mean, nothing but worried about her.
Right. And we talked about that the other day, that even the therapist who evaluated him in Waukesha before he was sent to Greene County stated that was the only thing he was concerned about. He was not concerned about himself. He was concerned about her. And I just want to make a note for you guys. Do you know who sleeps in interrogation rooms? Guilty people.
A lot of guilty people I know do.
That's who sleeps in interrogation rooms. Just
Or they put their heads down a lot. Yeah.
Right. Psychopaths. Right. Psychopaths. Yep. Okay. So at 7:53, she rises from her slumber. Sleeping Beauty is awake. Oh, I'm still here. Oh, Aurora Rose. So I am so mad about that. Do you guys even understand that Maleficent and Sleeping Beauty is my absolute favorite freaking Disney movie? And I am just pissed about that. Like, for real. In fact, I even told my sister to name her daughter instead of Chelsea. I told her to name her Aurora. And she's like, what? You mean like after like the toilet paper? I was like, no, after Sleeping Beauty. Duh. Okay. So she wakes up at 7:53 p.m. It is Mac on TikTok, and I know you guys cannot hear her very well, so I'm trying to kind of reiterate, but we will post the TikTok one up here afterwards so you guys can watch that one too, so you can hear and see what's going on over here on TikTok. I'm sorry, I don't have my microphone to put it right up underneath there because Abby's borrowing it because her phone is in rice. Sorry.
Yes, Aurora is Christy's dog too.
Oh yes, Aurora is Christy's dog too. Yeah. She's a cute little dog. I met her. I love that dog. She's a sweetheart. She's hilarious. I love her.
Aurora, come here. Aurora, come
Yep.
here. Nice cat.
So now she rises from her sleep of 3 hours, and in the 45 minutes and the other 45, so 3. Okay. And she says, oh, I'm famished, I'm hungry, and I need to go to the potty. And so a female deputy is called in. Deputy Rannick is called in to take her to the restroom. And while they're waiting for Deputy Rannick to actually come and get her, she begins talking. So yeah, that's what she's naming the baby. She's going to name it Aurora Reina, I believe.
Janet, is she Maleficent in the pic on YouTube?
Is what?
She said, look at my pic. I think Janet.
Oh yeah. Yep. Oh, Janet, you're a lawyer. We need to talk.
Yeah.
The
She likes
evil
Maleficent,
lawyer.
so come on.
Right. Exactly. We got some going here. So this is the only time she asks about Nick. She asked about Nick and how he is doing. And Coates tells her, like a boss, that he's not very familiar with this case. And so she begins to start just spilling the tea. It's just coming out of her. And she tells Coates that a couple of days ago, her mom kicked her out because it was time to grow up. That is her actual words. She kicked me out because it was time for me to grow up. Gypsy says then they traveled by Greyhound bus because Nicholas came and got her. And they travel. Oh, I know Christy's dog's named that. Yep. And they traveled by Greyhound bus. And she stated that she was in Big Bend a couple of days and everything was normal. But this morning, she woke up to loud knocking at the door. And she just didn't know what that loud knocking was. So she didn't come downstairs because, must have scared her so terribly bad. Enough to erase a Facebook message that disappeared.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, did you know that Facebook message was private? It was only to friends and family, that third one.
Oh.
It was not posted publicly.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
Interesting.
That's the one that says that the girl is dead too. Just so you all know. She did not publicly post that one. Okay. Nope. She didn't ask them anything between the naps. Nope. She didn't ask why he was being arrested. Nope. She gets to that here. Okay. So then she says, well, it turned out that the loud knocking at the door, but it turned out to be the sheriff's office. Well, yeah, you're sitting in the sheriff's office. I think they know that they're the ones that were knocking on the fucking door, Gypsy. Oh, the evil lawyer thing is from another show. Oh, you're a social worker. Well, still, I'd like to talk to you. Anyway, yeah, because I definitely need some social workers on this. And I have other cases too that I need to talk with some social workers. Okay.
All kinds of people.
Yep. All right. So then she says they arrested her boyfriend. She makes sure that they know that he's arrested and she's not. And then she says that she's unsure why she's here and that she did not do anything wrong. And then this little gem comes out, quote, I'm not a murderer. I don't do drugs and I don't rob anyone. All three lie. She had not been arrested yet, Kane. She had not been arrested yet. He was arrested. She was being held for questioning. They did not know whether she was a victim or a suspect yet. They did not know. Okay. So all three. I'm not a murderer. I don't do rugs, and TikTok shop. And I don't rob anyone. Okay. Okay, Gyps. Good to make sure you knew all that. You know, that's you're a good person. You didn't do anything wrong. You didn't murder anyone. You didn't do any rugs, and you didn't rob anyone. Yeah.
It's the definition of gypsy.
What? That she didn't.
She's the definition of her name.
Yeah.
She's a gypsy.
Oh, she is a gypsy for sure. That was foreshadowing like nobody could believe, right?
Yeah.
So at 8:06 p.m., her food arrives and she eats it. At 8:10 and 8:13, there was a reset of the recording because Gypsy goes to the bathroom twice. Once at 8:10, comes back, then has to go again at 8:13. I don't know what the hell she thought she was doing. Maybe she thought she could get a note to Nick or get some more information by walking around and hearing what they were saying, because she likes to lay on the floor to hear what they're saying. So how much better would it be if she's walking around listening to what they're saying, right? I still can't get over her laying on the floor. All right, by 8:14 p.m., Deputy Rarick relieves Coates so that he can go eat. Okay. At 8:34 p.m., Lieutenant Esser again asks if she needs anything, and she says no. And she inquires when the Missouri detectives would arrive, and he tells her very soon. And guess what she does? She takes another nap. Nap four. Drop a four. Four. Right? My grandson doesn't take this many, and he's 3. Like, for God's sakes. So she sleeps from 8:43 to 9:22 p.m. So she takes another, 45-minute nap here. But then at 9:22 p.m., she decides to get chatty. Yeah, that's Sleeping Beauty over here, right? Exactly. That's why she's naming her daughter Aurora. She talks. So now, go ahead, Amy. What?
I wouldn't doubt it.
All right. So she talks to Deputy Coates again about the vacations in Florida and Cape Cod with her mother. They talked about various vacations that she took. That's when she's talking about the St. Louis Arch and how to save money when going to Disney. I can help you save money when you go to Disney. The thing is that you don't do this, and you really, Gypsy, how do you know anything about saving money for going to freaking Disneyland or Disney? Because they were all paid for by people. What are you fucking talking about? Oh, yes, I forgot this. Well, they didn't put this in this one, Misbehaving, but you're right. I'm a good girl in her little baby voice. Yes. You're right. And still, no mention of abuse. Nothing. Okay. So then she does make a comment about Nick. Oh my goodness. You think she's asking if he's okay, guys? You think she's asking, did he get something to eat? Is he okay? Is he sleeping? No. That's not what she asks. Nope.
She asked in the very beginning about him, and that was it.
That's it. That's the one time. No, you know what she asks? You know what she says? She stated that she makes a comment about her boyfriend being arrested earlier. So that's the second time now that she's told him that her boyfriend was arrested. And she stated, if he did anything, I'm going to slap him upside the head.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then she goes on to elaborate into that about how he got in trouble before and she couldn't believe it. And she had to da-da-da-da-da and blah, 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 blah. So she just really hopes he didn't do anything because she cannot believe this. And oh, by the way, are there any movie theaters nearby? Because I'd really like to go see Star Wars.
Is there any movie theater?
I don't know who does a better Gypsy, you or me. We both do it pretty good. So then at 10:31 p.m., guys, she's done tour guiding for him. And guess what she does now? Can anybody guess?
Don't even tell me.
She naps again.
5.
That's 5. Drop a 5. We're on 5. 5 naps. 5 naps. Yeah, she really did ask about the theaters. Yep.
Rip Van Winkle.
Mm-hmm. Yep. 5. Gypsy decides to nap again. And at that point, Coates is now relieved by Detective Toole. So now Detective Toole takes over. He is also the one that I told you about had, Detective Michael Toole is alerted about the situation and he does all of this stuff. He's the one that was kind of being the liaison between the Greene County Sheriff's Department and the Waukesha Sheriff's Department. Okay. And so that's the end of where I got to in the timeline. So we're at 10:31 p.m. After that, by 11:10 p.m., Hancock begins questioning Gypsy first. Nicholas is still handcuffed in a chair from the time that they brought him in till 11 p.m. at night. He was offered McDonald's, and for the McDonald's, they were able to, put his hands in cuffs in front of him so he could eat. They did finally bring him a blanket, and he never slept. Not at all. Oh, hang on. My husband messaged. I want to make sure he's okay. Hold on. I want to make sure my
All
husband's
he
okay.
wanted to know is that she was okay and if he could hold her.
Yeah. Okay. I'll be right back. I have to go give my husband some insulin. I'm going to see if he needs something to eat. I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves. Oh, honey, what's going on? You have your mom's blanket for you? Oh, what are you doing?
She has no
laughing
conscience.
about?
I agree.
You're
That's
scared?
probably why she didn't have what
Okay,
she
you
did.
want to go lay down with Pop-Up real quick?
Leaking like an innocent
Mommy's in
baby.
the shower.
100%.
We'll lay down with Pop-Up, and then I'm going to give Pop-Up his
My
insulin.
thing is,
Emily, your munching
if
is
you
up.
watch, you can watch her
No, he's going to lay down with Pop-Up, he says.
and you can watch Nick's interrogation
Okay.
and you still don't get it. I feel like I don't know what else to tell people.
What?
The interrogation for me is everything. Both of them.
I know. He got scared, he said.
Hey, Danae. Yes, Les. He has no comprehension skills. She's probably dreaming about Disneyland. Yes, Squiggles, I agree. When you're not. Nope, she didn't. She could have cared less. Nick stuck with the same story the whole entire time. Still does. Still does.
Hey, Ab. I'm gonna
Absolutely heartbreaking what happened with Nick. And the thing is, he seems like he's still in pretty good spirits, even though he's in prison. You know what I mean? Like when you see him in interviews, he seems pleasant. So I don't even know. I think he would too. I think he would still protect her, absolutely.
I'm working on some soup real quick and a cup, and then I'll be right back. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not sure he fully understood what was going on. You know what I mean? They said he read and write on a 4th or 5th grade level.
Fourth grade
Really
level.
His Miranda rights? You know what I mean? Do you think he really understood that? Because I don't think he did. I'm not sure, Emma. I know we're not going to be going.
Just a minute. I'm sorry.
No, she did not block her ears. I don't even know if she was in that bathroom. And that's the thing. She knew as soon as she found him that he was going to be the one.
Yeah.
She knew it.
Oh, okay. I'm okay. Something about his nail.
We're running through the house. She cracks me up.
Okay. Almost.
2 or 3 years she talked him into it. Absolutely she did. Created the characters. Yep. And I'm really sick of hearing people say it was a mistake. Are you kidding me? A mistake? It's paying the wrong bill.
Yeah, just a little mistake. Just a little mistake.
I'm not that person. I made a mistake. So the people that are around her right now, they should be definitely looking out. Definitely looking out. Yeah, I don't think they're postponing it.
Okay.
Emma, she makes me think of my grandma.
All right.
She reminds me.
Here I come.
a lot.
Here I come.
Oh, live visibility. Oh, it's restricted for recommendation restricted in search results because your live does not comply with For You feed eligibility. Oh, for crying out loud.
What now?
The live is restricted because it doesn't fit with the community guidelines for You page. Give me a fucking break. Okay, I'm back, guys. Sorry about that. Yeah. So okay, so that's as far as I've gotten tonight. We are going to put together the same timeline from this with Nicholas's side because they do have that as well. I just kind of skipped over them because I was trying to get the Gypsy side done. Oh yeah, Bree reported it. Right. Exactly. So if you guys want to start asking questions, you can hit the box. We will let you guys ask some questions for a little while here. It's only 10:30. So yeah, we can ask questions for a while. We can talk about anything you want to talk about, anything you want to ask. And she says in that interview, Dee Dee wasn't physically abusive at all. And that's why nothing happened with CPS. Right. With Ryan. Yep, you're right. There is that thing with Ryan. There was an interview with Ryan and Melissa Moore after prison confessions. And she says in that interview that Dee Dee wasn't physically abusive at all. And that's why nothing happened with CPS. But just remember, she was chained to a bed with Dee Dee in the bed. Just so you guys know. She was chained to a bed with Dee Dee in the bed, and she was peeing on Dee Dee and herself for 2 whole weeks. Meanwhile, she was seeing Dr. Peckerman at the time and was in Kansas City. And yeah, the whole thing happened. That whole thing happened. Yeah, sure. Hey, Carissa, thank you so much. The chat is wonderful
tonight.
tonight.
We did an interview earlier.
Yeah.
And she brought something up about the stories and how nothing was said until she went to prison.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I think that's an interesting thing to touch on after we answer some questions.
Right. Okay. Yeah, let's take some questions real quick. Well, let me break that down for you real quick, and then you guys can start asking questions because it is kind of relevant. Okay. So from Crime Weekly, I was talking with Stephanie Harlow and Derek Lassiter. I think I never get his name right. Damn it. I need to look at his name up real quick because Levasseur, that's what it is. Levasseur. He's from Breaking Homicide. Okay. So Derek Levasseur and Stephanie Harlow and I were doing an interview this morning, and we talked about the fact that they asked me, when did these crazy stories start coming out? When did she start saying, well, she shaved my lady bits and she did this and she did that and she did that. And I said, those things did not start. Not even when she was in Greene County, not even when she was first in Chillicothe. They didn't start with those crazy, outlandish things. I mean, there had been lies that we caught her in. There were things that she embellished some. But the outlandish, really, let's make my mom look like the worst freaking person in the whole wide world, and let's double down on Nicholas being the worst guy in the world, and I hate him, and I can't believe all this. I wish I'd never met him. Now, she did start a little bit of that with Dr. Phil, but that was about Nicholas, not about her mom. The stories that are outlandish that you're hearing today did not start until Prison Confessions. When they began filming Prison Confessions with Melissa Moore, and I said this, look, I know people who know Melissa Moore. I have friends that we have in common with each other. I personally have spoken to Melissa Moore. I do not have respect for her at all. And I can tell you, I don't know what Aaron Lee Carr actually 100% knew. I don't know what Sophie, who made Gypsy's Revenge, knew. I don't know exactly what A&E, who did Killer Couples, or, Dr. Phil knew. I don't have that information. What I do know is exactly what Melissa Moore knows. I know she knows. She knows this is hogwash. She knows that Gypsy is lying. She even didn't even do her due diligence to make sure that it doesn't look like Gypsy's lying between the book and her freaking, prison confessions. But you know who did? You know who's not on the project for the second book and not on any other projects? The other writer on her first book is the writer who actually covered the story about the little boy named Stephen, which is called The Little Boy, or the boy called It. And if you want to talk about a child abuse case, that is a child abuse case. Abigail, come get daddy soup. That's a child abuse case of epic proportions. It's probably the worst besides Gabriel Fernandez that I have ever heard, ever. I read it in high school and I was so physically ill from it, I ended up in the bathroom vomiting. And I would throw that book across the room and it would, well, it's from like the 80s. I think it's an 80s case. Oh my God. Thank you, Five Gingers. Oh, thank you so much. So, but yeah, I mean, it was so horrible that, like I said, I would throw that book across the room because I would get so freaking disgusted by it and it would physically make me ill. But then I had to continue to read it. So I'm sorry for taking so long in, but that's basically, that's what I think is interesting. This did not happen. These crazy stories did not happen until prison confessions. And now it just seems like it's an all out free for all for just what is the worst story I can come up with. Anyway, hi and welcome.
Fancy.
Welcome in.
Hi, Fancy.
Hey.
We actually talked a little while ago.
Mhm.
It was like a group with Emma.
Yeah.
I actually had a question for you because I was doing a little bit of some digging into.
Speaking of the devil, here's Emma. Yeah, it's on the washing machine. Oh, hey, there is a spoon on top of the microwave that I washed. Okay, good. I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I wanted to wait because I wanted to ask you the question directly.
Yes, definitely. Okay.
I hope that you all are doing well. I send you guys love, and I hope that you guys are having a wonderful day. I just wanted to start that off respectfully because I don't want anybody to take my questions disrespectful.
Oh no, sweetheart. No.
Basically, I was doing a little bit of research into looking into CaseNet and looking at the individuals. The individuals we're speaking of.
Yeah.
Looking into their criminal records, looking into their backgrounds, and I actually had a question because this is something that was very much known was that Dee and Gypsy were eventually going to be caught for fraud. They had a big kind of like an eyeglass on them, like, hey, like we're watching you, we know what you're doing, we see what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I actually had a question. Was there any way that maybe I don't think CPS would have gotten involved, but definitely the FBI or the CIA seeing it's a financial way, and that not Dee, but Gypsy wasn't really sick. Gypsy was taking away opportunities from other children who actually were sick.
Well, Gypsy was actually sick. That is one thing. She didn't have cancer and she didn't have muscular dystrophy, but she was sick. Yeah.
Yeah, she had it was the chromosomal disorder.
Right.
But if we're excluding that, all of her procedures she got, helped her get better, which is why now she has gotten worse. Because when you look at Munchausen by proxy, they get worse.
Right.
Were there any documents that you know of that it basically confirms that they were being looked at for fraud or that they were being hunted down?
Nope.
Because when I look at the history of the time that this crime occurred, there was a show that was called Gone Girl that was released not too long before then. And when you look at the similarities in the case, it's too strikingly similar.
It's a Missouri story too, right? It's set in Missouri.
Yes.
Yes. We thought about that. We've talked about that. We even made the comparisons to that a long time ago. We did a whole Gone Girl presentation about it. And so,
Yeah.
yes, I do believe, I believe she saw the movie. I think she took pages out of the movie. We all know that she takes pages out of pop culture for all kinds of different things. She steals stories, and that's why they never make any sense, because they're not her stories. So she doesn't know the feeling that somebody feels when actually this was happening to her, or she doesn't know what it really means to say, well, this happened, or that happened, because it didn't happen to her. So she's just telling these stories, and they're just embellishing and embellishing. But no, there had been an investigation, a small investigation, into it at one point in time, and I think the hospitals were both alerted to it, but there was not a large investigation. They had closed out the investigation on financial schemes, and they had closed that. And now, because of there was this burglary that supposedly happened, that they closed because they didn't find any substantiating evidence, so they closed it. They were in the process. Sheriff Arnott said in his very first press conference that was 20 minutes long, he stated that he was going to reopen that case and those cases, and it was all about a long financial con. And all of the media at that time was picking up that story. And then Christy befriended MJ Pack of Thought Catalog, and she began having Megan change the narrative. And within minutes of Gypsy landing in Greene County, they were on the scene with HBO, and the narrative had been sold. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
That makes a lot more sense. It confirms what I had seen prior to looking at their background. I told you how I looked up Ken,
Yes.
seen his background, all
Right.
of his addresses.
Right.
When I was in a previous Discord, I was able to show them on a video call on my computer. I found all of Ken's previous addresses, his previous phone numbers, employers. I even know his ex-girlfriend's name. But
are you the one that says that he was a correctional officer at another prison?
No.
Okay, somebody told me that the other day too, and I was like, I need proof of that, because I don't think so.
I sent that there's documentational proof of a PO officer called Amanda Moore who requested for the documents, but never that he actually, Ken has applied to many jobs. Like, I'm talking jobs that you think this man would never have, from security to bartending, but you can look up the history of that kind of stuff and see if they've worked in those kinds of employments. He's only had 2 jobs, 2 employers. And that's it.
Wow.
I don't know if he's employed currently, because when I looked it up, nothing showed that he was employed currently. It didn't show that. So it only showed from the last 10 years that he's had 2 employers.
Oh, wow.
Now he has a good standing with those employers. It seems like for the first job, he was there for 6 years. Second one, he was there for about 3.5 to 4. But, he seems like he has a good rapport, but it doesn't show up anything else.
See her letting him be a bartender and having girls flirt with him. I
No.
can't see that happen.
Well, it would make sense, and it would corroborate the story about when Gypsy was released. She went to a bar with Bobby, and then she did the whole situation there that we all know about.
Ken is the current boyfriend. That's the baby daddy, supposedly, but I don't believe that. But supposedly he's the baby daddy. That's who Ken is, guys, because they're asking over here. So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot there. I have not looked. I pulled Ken's background back in the day because I was very suspicious of him. I told the family I was suspicious of him. I told him I was suspicious of him. Like, I did not think he's a good dude. I don't think he's a good dude today. I don't think that Raina is a good role model. I don't think that she's going to be good for this baby either. If you look back into Raina's background with her other children, it ain't a good track record, guys. It's not. It's not a good track record. And she's out there posting it for the world to know about her daughter's freaking problems. And I think that's disgusting. And it should have never been said like that. And I don't think that anybody in this situation is a good person for this poor little baby. I don't.
I agree with that.
Right. So, hey, Emma, how are you, sweetheart?
Girl, how are you?
Good.
I have something to lighten up the mood with some funniness.
Okay.
I went live with Human Ashtray because she accused me of having a fake account about her with no like back, like with no, just assuming.
Yeah.
So then she said it's probably Fancy or it's Ryan, and I'm like, I look at her, I'm like, do you think these people have time to do this? Like,
I don't have time for this crap. Did you see the notes I was taking today?
They don't get that we're actually busy all day long.
We're busy all day long. I talk to Amy 95,000 times a day about all the different things that we're doing. But, you know.
she felt the need to warn me about you.
Oh, fun. Fun.
I was like, I started laughing. Like, I felt like she was my grandma. She's like, don't say I didn't warn you. And I'm like, oh, God. I'm like, no. I'm like,
warn me about what? That woman has never even had a conversation with me. Not one. It's so ridiculous. That's ridiculous, though.
no,
But
Fancy.
I know,
so
I know.
fucking
She's
funny.
ridiculous. She
I
doesn't.
don't even
She
know.
can't even say the words correctly. She can't even say Rod Blanchard. It's Ron Blanford. I'm Gypsy's nanny. I'm Gypsy's grandma.
Scarlett, Nana.
You know what's crazy, Emma, is that the other day, I don't know if y'all saw my chat in the comments, because I used to actually follow Toddy Oneskip, and I used to really like her content.
Yeah.
Until I figured out what she did as when she was a correctional officer. I'm not even going to talk about it because it's just absolute
I don't know anything about that person.
Oh, wow.
But she basically went on a live with another person who works in law. Like, she's apparently like a criminal attorney or a lawyer. And I'm not even joking. It was for an entire hour. For at least half of it was defaming and speaking ill on Fancy.
Oh, no. That's rabbit hole. That's the rabbit hole, bitch. And it's her husband who is an attorney. Not her. Her husband.
I agree with that. 100%.
Yeah.
If you're a fucking attorney, wouldn't you be like, what the fuck? What are you asking me to do? Why would I make fun of this person?
Literally.
No, she loves to make fun of me.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy is the attorney, I had to click off that at one point because the immaturity was ridiculous. Like, the attorney was trying to sway the conversation back to what they were talking about, because they were talking about Gypsy, Wade Wilson, and all this other stuff. And she just kept trying to talk about how people that talk on things like these have no credibility. And I'm like, how would you know?
What the fuck are these lawyers?
You don't talk to her, bro. Like,
whoever the fuck is hiring this
so
guy,
disrespectful.
like, listen to yourself. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
So Natalie over here says, I think that Gypsy was malingering and Dee Dee didn't know that things weren't as bad as they were. She wanted all of her mother's attention and would get upset when Dee Dee paid attention to the cats. You know, that's really funny because I was the one who told her the story about my fact that that sometimes, you know, I thought my mother was a better mom to the dog than to me, you know, sometimes. And I love my mother dearly, but my mom had a lot of mental health problems. And that was mainly came from the fact that my mother was a juvenile diabetic on all kinds of crazy medicines in the 80s and 90s, early 90s, you know, and 70s. And she was very sick. And so I never held my mom responsible for all of it. But, you know, I did see that too. And then all of a sudden, you know, we hear about these cats and everything. And so, you know, I don't know if she stole my story or not, if she already told that story, but that is exactly it. And she did want all her mother's attention. And I'm telling you, I was put to the task today to talk, you know, with Derek asking me today, but why do you think she did this? So it's not abuse. What do you think it is? And I said, I'm telling you, her mother deigned to tell her no. She'd never heard no. Her mother had overindulged her, overdid everything because she really truly did think that her daughter was going to die at a very early age, and she still may die young. I've said this, depending on how the chromosome disorder is, you know, she can still have a very short lifespan. And that's the thing. And I think all along, the doctors, since they didn't know what it was, they were telling her, we don't know if she'll live past 10, 11, 12, 16, 20, you know, whatever, you know. And I think she truly believed that. And she tried to give her daughter the most epic life. And what she ended up doing was creating this monster that we're looking at today.
She spoiled her.
Yeah, a monster because she spoiled her and her daddy didn't give a shit about her. And, you know, classic.
Today who say he gets what she wants.
Yep, she gets what she wants.
I agree with that.
Well, thank you, ladies. Did either one of you have anything else you wanted to ask or say?
No, I just found it really funny, and
I know that is really funny. Thank you for giving us a little bit of a laugh there, Mama. Yeah.
We have a new edit about ourselves.
Oh.
Me and you are in it, and it's a bunch of trolls.
Yes.
And we've been working on it.
Yeah, we've seen it. We've seen it. It's Brie. We know. Yeah, it's lovely. She's so mature.
I can't wait for the day that woman gets locked up back again, sent to the clinker. I'm gonna keep the door hold open for her, and I'm gonna laugh.
Yeah.
I'm gonna laugh.
Well,
I just don't understand. I just don't understand how that's productive. But okay.
No, it's not. It's not productive.
I know.
Again, we're making notes, of pages long of notes on everything, and they're over there wasting time making us into little trolls. So,
our people that care about us, they know what the truth is.
Yeah.
No, but the fact they said that it took them hours to make it, I fucking died.
Oh yeah, she did it while she was on live. She was making it while she was on live, sitting there making it. But okay, but I don't want to talk about. I don't want to.
It should not take you that long to edit a video like that.
I don't want to talk bad about other content creators. It's just not my thing. I really don't want to do it. But thank you for informing me. It was funny.
They're very dedicated.
No, who has multiple personalities? Who? Neither one of these have multiple personalities. Okay, I'm going to drop you ladies down because we've got some people waiting. Okay, bye. Love you too.
Thanks for coming up.
Okay, so then, no, none of them have multiple personalities. She uses that as a way to manipulate Nicholas, and then she convinces Nicholas to do those. It's a role play thing. It has nothing to do with multiple personalities. Nicholas also does not have dissociative identity disorder, nor is he schizophrenic or any of those things. He had a psychotic break, but no one has multiple personalities in this. No. Sorry, Kathy, no. And I'm not trying to be rude, but man, absolutely no. Yeah, she made up characters and she did it before Nicholas. Hi, guys. Hi, Squiggles. Hi, Jojo. All right, so Bitty Bitty Bum Bun is unmuted. So go, girl. What you got?
Love that song.
I was wondering, you mentioned you were going to be on with Derek and Stephanie. I'm so excited for you on that.
I'm so excited on that. Trust me.
I saw their preview the other day about the beginning of the series, and I was a little, I'm like, oh God, please let this one be fair.
Yeah,
and
it was.
Like, I hope they're going to get both sides.
Yeah.
I just want to say, I'm really glad that they asked a lot of questions that you think the people not aware of previously.
Yeah. Derek knows nothing about the case, like literally nothing. So he is fresh eyes. He is fresh eyes as a homicide detective.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it is. It was really fun. They want to have me back again. And I have asked both of them if they will participate in the documentary. Stephanie said yes immediately. Derek said, let's talk about it because he wants to see all the evidence that I have, because he doesn't have any of it. Yeah. He's good.
And I'm so excited for you. So they up the documentary?
Yeah, I'm hoping so. I'm hoping he'll do it. Yeah. I mean, we're starting to put together a really good team for the documentary. I'm really excited about it.
What did Stephanie, does she seem surprised or taken aback? I'm just curious because, usually when I watch them, there's a couple of times that I'm like, but I think only really once that I can say that I really didn't like how they perceive something, but every other time they have a very clear mind about it.
She is very much in the thought process of me. She agrees with me. She does not see Munchausen by proxy, and that was one of the things I was able in 2 hours time. I took Derek, who knew nothing about even what malingering by proxy even was, and he'd only heard of Munchausen by proxy. I took him through it, and every time he threw something at me to be like, well, don't you think that maybe that would be Munchausen? I kept coming back to him and going, no, because again, the whole reason is not for medical fucking stuff. It's for financial gain. Because he's like, okay, so making her sit in the wheelchair isn't medical abuse. And I'm like, no, you're not understanding. She wasn't doing that to get additional things given to Gypsy through medical. She was doing it to get financial gain. And once I explained to him what malingering was, he really understood.
Are you going to be on this episode?
I will be on the second episode.
And then the last thing, what was I going to say? Well, I forgot.
Well, if you remembered, you'll come back through. Hang out on panel, and if you remember, just pop back in. So hang out. Okay. Bella, you are having a tough time tonight, girly girl. Oh, Squiggles, you're up.
Hi, Fancy. Hi, Mac.
Hello.
Well, I'm just wondering, would you too? I was locked out of my account for a while.
Oh no.
I was just wondering, with all the CaseNet stuff, is it still possible to get, or was it ever possible to get Gypsy's full medical records? And have there ever been medical records on Dee Dee?
I have both. I have very limited ones on Dee Dee. I have some from towards the end of her life. I have the emergency room visit from the actual BB pew pew, incident. And I personally have the most comprehensive of Gypsies. I don't have Dr. Beckerman's from Louisiana, and I don't have the Bayou doctor that saw all the kids in that time period. And I should have had that one, but they kept those from me. And I think that's because there's things in those that they didn't want me to see. But I have everything else. Yes. I have everything from 2000 on. So from 9 years old on, I have it all. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want I wish I could have more information on like Dee Dee's presentation. Are there many notes in there about like her psychological presentation?
There was nothing. There's never been anything. She's never been diagnosed with anything psychologically. Nope. Her daughter likes to diagnose her with things, but there was never an evaluation done. She was also not in a mental institution from anything that we can find. So,
yeah, I didn't think that would be the case.
No.
And I was also wondering how you felt about NPG's post, and if you were still going to
I'm not going.
go ahead. Yeah,
I'm not going. I'm not going. I was advised by my counsel not to go because of very, very various reasons. I have my own court case in Missouri that I'm dealing with. I don't want to go there and do anything with that. I also have safety issues. My team of people that are working on, putting together a security team for me to go out on tour and stuff. They said it's just not a good idea at this time. And so I'm not going. I'm just not going to go. It's just something that I wanted to support it, and I do support it. I do support them doing this. I made several videos about the fact that someone was trying to state that what we're advocating for is against the Constitution, and it's because she's an idiot and doesn't know how to read case files properly. She's in law, guys, but she doesn't know the basics of understanding that sending a wife in to elicit a freaking confession from her co-conspirator husband on the death of their son is not the same thing as an mental health advocate stepping in and stating, hey, wait a minute. We don't think that the questioning should go any further until we evaluate him and make sure that this suspect is capable of understanding their Miranda rights, their this, their that, all of that. So she can't even come up with that. She doesn't even understand that, much less anything else. So I just cannot believe it, but I'm very supportive of the rally. I don't believe that MPG Cornerstone has his best interest at heart. I'm confused as to who runs it. I've been told very many things from all the way from Gypsy herself to Bree to, everyone. So I don't trust them. And I also want to state that, in some way, Nicholas has asked for this not to be done or whenever his supposed MPG has come out and said that, but we don't know that that's coming from Nick. We have no clue. And I would also like to state that, God bless, Bella. Are you all right? My goodness, girl. They also, no offense to the, oh my God. To the Godejohn family, I'm sorry, she is a very old dog. I'm sorry, guys. She is clearly having a problem tonight. I, no offense to the Godejohn family, I just think that the Godejohn family never did the right things to help their son in any of this. They didn't, come out and talk publicly and try to get the media to, share his side to refute what Gypsy was saying. They didn't get him, he had the worst lawyers and they couldn't do anything about it. Stephanie, I don't even think she went to the trial, and they've tried to help their son. I'm not saying that they don't care about him or don't love him, but I don't think they understand the resources or how to help him in any way, shape, or form. Because to this point, they have done nothing but stand beside him. And, Bobby keeps telling us it's going to be a shocker. It's going to be a shocker, but it's certainly not shocking them into giving him a fair fucking trial. Yes, she is okay. This is her nighttime. This is her nighttime thing.
I saw a case the other day, Fancy, where there was a young man, I think he had a disability, and he was manipulated by his friend to jab his friend, thinking that online on a chat room, thinking that he was working for the government, and he had spent a day in prison. So it's not impossible. Right.
Yeah.
And likewise, I saw a case where a woman was involved in the planning of an unaliving, and she got life.
Well, I mean, Pam Smart is sitting in jail for life, while every single person that actually killed her husband is out walking free.
Look at the 15-year-old girl right now that they're charging as an adult.
As an adult.
Shooting her mom.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe I'll make the post up then, because they're not saying not to do it at all, right? They're just saying postpone it. So
Probably, yes. Go check it. Yeah. Can you maybe see if Bella needs some water? Sorry. She just keeps coughing. This is longer than she normally coughs. Sorry.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Thank you, and have a good night.
You too, Squiggles. Thank you so much. All right, Biddy Bonbon, did you remember what you were gonna ask? Okay, real quick.
Okay, so my question was, so am I all bad?
Yeah, go ahead.
Did you get the, do they have the medical records now? And do you know if they'll be in there?
I don't know. I have not communicated with his attorney. I tried one time to send something. They have never responded to me. Nicholas tells me all the time, or told everybody that he doesn't want me to help. So I'm doing the best I can. If they want them, they can have them. They know where I am. They know who I am. They're not oblivious of who I am. So I'm hoping, I intend to actually write another letter to him, to his attorney, but I don't know how much more they can even do for him. I'm sorry for JoJo. If you want to hit the box again, sweetheart, I will let you ask your question. I'm so sorry, but I wanted to make sure I got Bitty Bonbon done. No problem. Oh, thank you, sweetie. Okay, have a good one.
Me too.
All righty.
See ya, bitty bum.
Yeah. All righty. Is anybody else got questions over here that wants to hit the box? So I know it's so cute. The man, the man to me.
JoJo said it's okay. She forgot.
Okay. Is there any information on when Dee Dee was diagnosed with cancer and had her hysterectomy? It's got to be somewhere between 2012 and 2014. Because that's the time frame of what Gypsy looked like at the time that they're at the Hope House where Dee Dee's head is being shaved. It wasn't mentioned in 2011 when they were taking her to the Le Pichon, and so I don't think it happened in 2011. Crime Weekly, and so I don't think it happened in 2011. I think somewhere between 2012 and 2014 is when it happened. And I think when she told Nicholas the first time, I told you guys this was the closest to the truth. It's always the first lie. She told Nicholas that her mother was dying of cancer, and then it was a mercy killing, and so she didn't have to, suffer all through the cancer and everything. And Nicholas said no. He told her no, he wouldn't do it. And so then she started telling him all about how abusive she was and how she does all this stuff to her and all the things. And so that's when I'm thinking that Dee Dee probably had the hysterectomy to get rid of the cancer. And that's when Gypsy was like, oh, well, well, maybe she survived this cancer and shit. Now she's not going to die. So I might have to take care of her till she's 70. And I didn't want to wait that long. Wow, nice, Gyps. Nice that you didn't want to take care of your own mother, who took care of you all those years and did everything for you and gave you anything that you wanted. There, I want to make it very clear. I want you to look around the house. There is nothing for Dee Dee in that house. Nothing. There is nothing. Nothing. Valid girl. Oh, she's making her bed. That's why she's coughing so much. So, yeah. So I just realized she's sitting there over there trying to make her bed. Yeah. So, yeah. Closest to the truth is the first lie. Yep. Generally, that first lie is the closest one you're going to get to the truth. After that, it begins to become manipulated over and over again to try and make people believe you. And the more that you lie, the more people don't believe you. But liars don't recognize that. Habitual liars do not recognize it that way. Who said it was a mercy killing? Gypsy. Gypsy told Nicholas. It's in the offer of proof. That was the first lie she told him. I believe they even have her testify to that in court. Now, I did not watch all of his court case because I really didn't feel like I needed to back in the day. But since, my God, Bella, please just lay down. Goodness. It's just upsetting because I don't know what I can do for her. There's nothing to do. It just is. It's so upsetting. And I know we're getting to putting her down, but it's awful,
Right. I know.
Yeah. What?
Please report of anything that would be residually in there.
Okay.
And
it seems fine.
It sounds louder than it was.
Okay,
before.
fantastic. Wonderful. So maybe it helped.
Yeah. Ethan said it needed a little sippy of my soup and then it
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. No problem. So yeah, and said the emails Nick wrote to his girlfriend were faked and that Dawn was a plant by someone. Well, I'm going to clear that up one more fucking time. I'm so tired of having to deal with this. Not your fault, Rachel. I'm just tired of people saying it over and over again. If she was a plant by not me. She was a plant by either Dawn Brown or Gypsy or Christy, but she was not a plant by me. I did not know Dawn until June. I had known of her before. I had reached out to her one time asking her if she would be interested in speaking with me. She declined, and we were talking about Bobby, his father. And then, yeah, we know honey does help. We've been giving her that. I don't think we have any more left. I think she ate it all. So, my God, I can't take it. It's driving me absolutely insane to listen to her do this. I don't know what to do. It's so aggravatingly upsetting. It's not like I'm mad at her for coughing. It's just,
No.
I don't know what to do for her. And we've been trying, we were going to put her down, and then Percy died. Our cat died. And then Wyatt's been going through some stuff, and we didn't want to make him think that every time he leaves to go to his daddy's that one of the animals. Good God, what is wrong with her tonight? I know. I just wish there was something. I wonder if there's something causing it right now. Lovely, just lovely. Well, we're working on, she's 17 years old. We're working on putting her down. So yeah. But no, that's what I think too. I think the family planted her, if anything, try to provoke Nick. And that's what she did. That's why I have all of her emails between him and her. Well, actually, I don't have all of them. That's kind of funny. I thought I had them all, but when I started looking at them, I noticed that there were definite pieces that Dawn purposely was not giving to me. And she just told me, oh, well, I just got all the ones I could. Some of them I deleted and some of them were da 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 da. She came to me in June. She started emailing Nicholas in April before he went to his full trial. When he was at trial is when she started emailing him. She said, oh, I saw his hearing and we don't know what she has. I have not been able to do that. Like I said, we haven't been able to take her in. We've been struggling lately and we were going to put her down because she's ready to go. She has glaucoma. She has other things, but I don't know what she has. We just need to put her down soon.
Yeah.
No, you don't need to see her. It's okay. It just, no, I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, there's always been this show that the thing that he was in a standoff with the police. No, he wasn't really in a standoff with the police. He just didn't come out. Yeah. I know, guys. I know. It's hard. It's really hard. It's really hard. But yeah, I mean, I think that Dawn was planted. I think that she went in there with a mission to get him to say certain things. I think she did things to make him do that. Okay, I'll try that. No, that's not working. Somebody said.
Stop for a minute.
Yeah. I know it sounds like a hairball, but it's not. It's not. We know this. So anyway,
Yeah, we get people just.
yeah, she is eating. She eats just fine. Yeah. Bro is literally talking rice and videos right now. What? I don't understand what she said there, Jan. So, but yeah, I mean, I think that Dawn went in there with one simple thing, and that was to make sure that I don't give a shit if she's talking about me. I don't care. That's what she does. So she has no other content. I'm her content. So, other than being stupid and mislabeling, court cases and making people into trolls. What does she have? Yeah, what does she have?
Lion and KJ and Starlight and she makes sure.
Yeah. Yep.
It's a daily thing.
Yep. Anyway, but I think that was something of that. Hi, Ryder. I think that was something of that nature because it's too close to exactly what Gypsy did with him. I mean, down to the letter. I'm not even kidding you. It's like the same words were used, the same things. She did the same thing. She made characters to match his freaking characters. And she played the daddy daughter. She played the da-da-da. And she used her children to talk to him and make him elicit things, how he felt about things. And she lied to all of us. She tried to take all of us for different pieces of money. I sent her money. My friend Diana sent her money. Diane Staples sent her money. Like we were supposed to bring her down here so that she could, be part of us. And we were trying to help her escape a domestic violence situation that she told us she was in. And that's what my Nick book is going to be explaining. I had those emails out for a long time. And then I realized how bad they were. And I believe that I started going to school and I started talking about them and I started talking about him and I started talking about her and I started talking about all the things that Gypsy did with him. And when I started seeing the patterns evolve, I began to really become very, very suspicious of it. So suspicious that I even contacted her the other day and asked her if she was behind running NPG. And she said, I assure you, I'm not, Fancy. I promise you, I'm not. I'm doing well. I'm off the rugs. I'm off this. I'm in college. I'm doing well. So I said, okay, well, I wish you well. And I hope that is not you. So, so it's just, I do think that Dawn was sent in. I do, but not by me. And I'm tired of John Brown. Christy's henchman trying to say that it's me, and KJ trying to say that it was me, because it was not me. It was not me. I would never have done that. Never. Never. There were people on my team that wrote to him to try and see, what he would say and things like that. But none of them tried to elicit information from him that wasn't true. They just wanted to know more about him. Because like I told Bobby, I told his father that, look, I have this opinion based on the facts and things that I have, the evidence from the case files, the, stuff from Gypsy and Christy, and what's been said in the media. And then I've got these emails, and none of this makes your son look good, dude. I don't know what you're doing, but you really, if you want people to know what your son is, and you're saying that he's not the monster that Gypsy's making him out to be, you need to start talking. And they chose to go with, with Annie. And I think that they did an okay job, but I still feel like they did not understand him. Hell, I didn't understand him till a year ago.
No.
I had no concept of it. I really did not understand it at all. And the more and more I dug in, the more and more I realized, this is a guy who, the danger is not Nicholas himself. It's the susceptibility to being it's a susceptibility to being manipulated into doing this again, because he could be.
Read Rachel Allen's comment on YouTube.
Rachel Allen's comment. Okay. There is a mother-daughter duo living in the house now. I think you've put so much hard work into this case. It's amazing. You should really be proud of yourself. Your passion is what brought me here. Oh, thank you, Rachel. That's
Very
so sweet. Thank you so
That's what
much.
brought me to Rachel. Honestly, it did.
Yeah. 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 He's okay, Crystal. That's an interesting point to bring up about him being honest to a fault. Yes and no. Here's the deal. Nicholas seems rather honest. I have caught him in a couple of things that maybe he's not being 100% truthful. Ryan's doing good. She's doing good. She's doing a lot of self journey stuff right now. I'm really proud of her.
Really is.
Yeah, she's really doing great. She's been working out, and she's been trying to work on her mental health, and she's doing great. I'm really, really proud of her, actually. And they've been going at her like no tomorrow, because basically once she started talking to me again, they told her if she didn't stop talking to me, they would just go at her. And they've gone at her husband, they've gone at me, they've gone at her, they've tried to involve her kid. I mean, it's just all kinds of just shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That we've
thank you,
all
Morgan. I
just said,
appreciate that
we're
too.
moving on.
Right. I appreciate that too.
Yeah.
I don't qualify for pet insurance, April. I don't. So I've tried that. I don't qualify. You have to have good credit for that, and I don't.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's not just regular pet insurance. You don't get pet insurance like you get child insurance, medical insurance for your child. It doesn't happen that way. Yeah. Yep. So, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I think he does still want to protect her, but I think that's coming to an end. I really do. I think he's very well aware of what has happened. Thank you, Sabrina. She's calmed down. She's laying down. She's going to sleep. So, she decided to lay on the floor because it's cooler. So maybe that's what was going on.
It probably is cooler.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a nice night tonight.
She's a Papillon, and then her baby is a Papillon Maltese mix. And we rescued them 14 years ago now, I think. Yeah. The nose thing worked. Maybe. So, but yeah, I mean, you see the same trauma bond with Nick and Ryan. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
Like Ryan Anderson, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
She does a number on these guys. I mean, she's a femme fatale in my mind. She is I call her a siren. I'm telling you, a siren or a succubus, because that's what she's like. Like, she gets her hooks in you, and man, she just turns those men just all around into just not.
Still defend her.
They all still defend her. Even David Blanchard, even Dan Glidewell says he fucking misses her. Like, what? What do you miss about that freaking nasty little beast? According, like, as Stephanie freaking, termed her, you know, it's just anyway. But yeah, it's just I don't understand it at all. Very emotionally manipulative, Squiggles, very. So, Amy, I mean, you looked through the same case file. You kind of looked at some more than I did with Nicholas and stuff. Did anything else really stand out to you that you wanted to talk about, or
as far as the thing we just went
the
over,
thing we just went over? Yeah,
reports?
yeah.
Only that they didn't seem to really go through Gypsy's things the way they did Nick's. I don't feel like they were as thorough going through her suitcase and all that.
No. Oh, yeah. You talked about that. Yeah, because like you said, tell him about that. Like he's downstairs, he's taking the picture, and then that whole thing. Talk about that.
Yeah. Reading it says, he finds the pink suitcase. He's he's got everything laid out, and he starts to take pictures, and then he gets called upstairs to take a picture of the TV, and I'm like, and then they never say anything else about it, like.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
Yeah, they don't take pictures of her clothes individually. And I don't know if you guys have seen the clothes that she had in there. They were all little girl clothes. So the designer clothes that she told Nicholas about, I've got a whole closet of designer clothes. Where are they? He did say she was throwing things out. Some people did say she left a bag behind, stashed somewhere for her to come back and get. And I'm just wondering, I don't know. They took pictures of his and they did notate that hers had blood on it. Was it ever tested? No. Because she's arrested in June, and by 3/16, February, March 16 of 2016, or March of 2016, she's already, working on the plea deal, and she's almost completed her whole thing with Mommy Denderis by that time. So we're talking less than a year.
Did you hear about there being red stuff on the car window?
On the cube?
I'm not sure. Somebody asked on YouTube. Am I mistaken, or was there blood on the car window?
They messed up big time in Missouri. Yeah, they did. Yeah.
So I don't know what car they're talking about.
I don't know. I don't talk about her pregnancy, Jacqueline. I don't really discuss her current situation. I don't really give a shit. I feel bad for the baby. I'm really worried about the baby.
It's just,
I just don't want to participate in her bull crap. It's going to continue for the rest of her life. She's never going to stop. She'll forever be a victim. And, that's what she's done. Everybody wants a perfect victim. No, we're sorry. The perfect victim is dead.
Yes, Caitlin.
Gypsy, you're not the perfect victim. Your mother was the perfect victim. And then you basically villainized the crap out of her to make her look like the worst person on the fucking face of the earth. And when you're not doing that, you're making fun of Nicholas's member on Lives with Bree. And your stepmommy is right there encouraging you. So, good people here.
Yeah,
do I know if she's being investigated by the feds? I do not know.
Their content.
Right. Oh, I know what I was talking about. Okay, so I was talking about the fact that Nicholas can lie. He can lie. He did lie. There are things that he said he took to the grave that he wouldn't tell, that he didn't say. He did lie at first, and he did try to say that, I didn't do this. He tried to go with the approved lie. That's what he's talking to himself about. For the entire 16 hours that they're waiting for the freaking police from Missouri to arrive and be there and whatever and question them. And I don't know what time they arrived and in Louisiana, or in Missouri. I don't know. I have to look that up. But, here's the thing that it basically, he was rehearsing his story over and over and over and over again. That's why he was talking to himself and he was working through it. And then when Mahali comes in and starts questioning him, she kind of throws some monkey wrenches in there, and he realizes right then and there he's going down for it. He says, she's setting me up to take the fall. He says it, straight up says it. And he knew, and he still protected her, and he still didn't tell the truth. And he did lie about a lot of things. He could, but only because he had rehearsed it so often, and that she had given him instructional videos, including 1, 2, 3, 4.
And I've seen this question a couple of times. Did Nick say anything about Ruby being there?
Look, I don't think that Nick believes any more than anyone else that those are real personalities and real people. Okay. He's not got DID. She does not have DID. It was a role play. Could there be a thing for saying that, okay, maybe he said Gypsy didn't do it, but Ruby did? Sure, maybe. I mean, I think that could be somewhat of a possibility. But I don't think that he would have held on to the Gypsy didn't do it and not have said, but Ruby did.
Okay, yeah, yes, I do remember something from what I read. I didn't realize that Nick went to live with his mom after he graduated high school.
Yes.
I thought he had lived with her.
I
read that and I was like, I messaged you right away, and I'm like,
right.
I don't know if I knew that.
Right. So I do think that he bounced back and forth between his dad and his mom a lot. But then I think through high school, I think he stayed with his father. And he had then moved back in with his mom at that point in time after high school, after graduation. And then she does say in the interrogation, Stephanie does say that he had just, at the time that he goes to see Gypsy, he had just returned again from being at Bobby's for a little while. And she said he was again not taking his medication regularly.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was not, he didn't have stability. It doesn't seem real good stability anyways. I think if
no, he can't get released to his parents. He can't be released to his father.
Yeah.
No, his dad doesn't believe in it. You know, his dad doesn't believe in mental health care. He doesn't believe in a whole lot of medications or any of it. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's so important.
Yep. How could she be curled up on the bathroom floor when the wheelchair was taking up most of the entire floor? Exactly. How could she be crouching between the toilet and the sink with the cat box, the shitty cat box with tons of shit in it, sitting right there? Was she hovering over the cat box? Like what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the phone calls have not been 100% released yet. We're waiting to see if we will be able to get the jail calls and the phone calls. Like I said, guys, they only started releasing stuff September 1st. So we're only, 16 days in from the time period where they released this stuff. So we don't know. I was told by one person that tried to request the jail calls that there may be a 3-year waiting period from the release of all the other information to the phone calls being released, but I don't know if that's confirmed or not. I've just heard that is there. No, they didn't leave the cat inside. She had 2 cats and she threw them out into the street and just left them out there. Nothing. They were found roaming and taken to a shelter, and people adopted them, thank God.
Yeah, Vicky was asking about the bruised knuckles. And I answered, I said, I think she was pounding the hell out of her mom.
Yep. Yeah, we already went over that, Courtney Ray. That's exactly what we were just talking about. Yeah. Oh, she had the nerve to comment on a photo of one of the cats. Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Really. The back door appears to be open. They took pictures of it being open. But again, I'm telling you, if you look from one investigator to the other investigator, one officer to the other officer, I'm telling you, the stories do not match.
They do not.
They don't match. They don't match the crime scene. They don't match each other. They don't match the witness statements. They don't match. They don't match. I saw today where somebody said that David Blanchard admitted he never went in the house. Now I've not run that down yet, but I mean, that makes more sense to me than him going in the fucking house. I'm sorry if you repeat this a lot, but do you think there is any substance abuse, a substance to Nick's claim he wanted to reveal something, but it wasn't the right time? I don't know. I think that Nick is very aware that this is his last chance at anything, of taking it to the Supreme Court level. And I think that he is doing the right thing. At least that is one thing that he's doing right. So at least his people are actually freaking, trying to keep him from talking, because I think that, yeah, he was groomed with all the alter egos, of course. But yeah, I think that he's keeping quiet right now because he knows that it's not time yet. His time will come. His time will come. His truth is coming. I fully believe it. We are trumpeters. We are blazing the way for the final truth teller to come. And I do believe he will. I just don't know when that's going to be. Now, we've heard that he doesn't have his next move with the Supreme Court until March of next year. So hopefully that is, him getting prepared for it. And I'm hoping that he maybe get a shot at this one. If I can do anything to help him get that shot, I will. No, he didn't have his last appeal. He has the Supreme Court appeal. He had his last state appeal.
Yeah,
And I'm not sure if he's used all of his post-conviction appeals either. He may not have been able to do that. Writing the rally postponed to a later date. I know. I don't think that they have any clue as to how to help their son. I'm sorry. I don't. I just don't. But at least, so David Blanchard has told many different stories, at least 3 that we know of. There are,
Duncan?
oh yes, Duncan. There's a new name, Duncan David, Duncan/David, Duncan/Dave, not even David, Duncan/Dave, is another name that he uses. He also went by David Brolo Blanchard at one point in time. Don't know what the fuck the Brolo thing comes from, because there's other people that he's connected to that are all Brolos, and it doesn't seem like it's a name. It seems more like it's a club of some sort that they're in. I don't know what the Brolos are, but do you guys know that he spoke at at Dee Dee's vigil? He spoke at her vigil one night after them finding her body.
Oh.
He did. He got up in there and he spoke. And he told a completely different story that night.
Did he? I don't know if I've ever seen or heard that.
Oh, wow. So she left a comment on the picture of the cat left on the street to fend for herself. And she said, "Oh my God, I'm so happy Sweetie Pie is doing great. Heart." Whatever. Fucking whatever. So I know that they said that there's a federal investigation, guys, but we haven't been able to find it yet. It's not on Pacer yet. And if it's not on Pacer yet, then I don't have any way to verify it, because federal cases don't go through the same things that state level cases go through. So there's not like a one central place I can look. Pacer would be it, and there's nothing on there yet. Because they never intended to give him a fair trial, Gage. That's why. They never intended to. They all worked very hard to put that boy in prison for life, and it's disgusting. It's really disgusting. And yes, David also goes by Duncan Dave, and then he told the police that his name was Charles. Like, I don't know what fucking fuckery David is pulling, but he is definitely sus as fuck.
Big time sus.
Yeah. So. Yeah, and I think that you're right, Mama Bear. I think it will screw up a lot of people if they ever give him a fair trial. Yeah, That's exactly what I think. I think that this
Yeah.
goes way deeper than any of us ever thought. I think that it was used to cover up a lot of things that happened in Springfield that are definitely not right, very sus as fuck. All of that. All of that.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Nick should be her hero in the abused narrative. But remember, you know, she hates him and she wished she never met him, which is what I wrote in my book. And I said, well, Gypsy, if you hate him and wish you'd never met him, then wouldn't you still be being abused by your mama?
Right.
So did he or did he not?
Exactly.
Is he or is he not your savior? Which story do you want to go with? Because you can't be, oh my God. Oh, Browlo is from Star Wars, I think. That would make sense because they're in a stormtrooper thing. And yeah. That's all very sus too. Oh, and we're going down the rabbit hole of VisionCon pissing people off and taking money from people and not doing what they said with it. Oh yeah, there's a deep ass freaking rabbit hole to go down on the VisionCon stuff. I have 2 books out already as Ozark Oracle, and we're working on the 3rd book and probably a 4th one to follow up with that. I'm not sure. We were hoping to get them out in October, but based on this new evidence and everything, we're trying to make sure that the 3rd and 4th one come out together and they kind of sum up where we were before the fact that, you know, of what we know now. Everything that we know right this minute until we get to go through everything and sit down with actual professionals again and look at all of this again. You can get it online at Amazon. It's now going to be available on Barnes and Noble as well. I'm still working with them to try and figure out why it's messed up. But I mean, they approved it and then they just left it pending. I don't know what the heck they're doing. Or you can go to thegoodwivesnetwork.com and order your autographed copy. I am very, very sorry, guys. It has taken me so long for those of you that did order the autographed copies to get them out. I have them in the mailers now. I am working on getting the ink to print the shipping labels because I have one of those services where you get, you know, the unlimited ink and I wasn't paying for it because I wasn't using it. So I got to pay for that. And then I will send them out. I promise you they will get out this week. I promise.
Too, so.
I know you are. I know. So, but yeah, that's where you can get them if you want the autographed copy. Oh, and by the way, it is now updated. So we updated both 1 and 2. They are re-edited because of the problem that we had with the first ones. You know, there was about 100 sold that had some problems with them. So it's an HP printer. You're absolutely right, Amy. It's an HP printer. And I love it. It's just, I need the ink for it. So, it's called The Companion 2, the number 2, The Good Wives Guide to True Crime, Part 1, Part 2, Part 3. There's that. And then it's Season 1, The Murder of Dee Dee Blanchard. So, that's the name of the book. And you can get it on Amazon or on our website right now. And then, you will be able to eventually get it all over the place. We're working on getting it into libraries and other bookstores, local bookstores of everywhere we go, all of that. So we have worked really, really hard on all of this. And I just want to thank everyone that contributed.
Both April.
What?
They're ebook and physical book.
Yeah,
right?
there's both. They're both. Yep. And at Christmas time, we're hoping to have a hardback full color box set. It's going to be expensive. I'm sorry. Printing. That's why we went with printing in black and white for the first one, because I literally, as a paperback version, it was almost like I would have had to put it up at $45, $50 for each copy for it to even be profitable at all. I mean, we would have made nothing otherwise because it was like almost 30 some odd dollars to print them.
Yeah, right.
So, I mean, and it just was ridiculous. Like I looked at it and I was like, I'm not going to do this. I can't ask people to do that. Now, if you want the box set with the hardback and some extra bonus stuff in there and everything that we're going to do for it, then, you know, that's great. Wonderful. You can have that option, but I wanted to make it as affordable as I could the first time around, so that people could get this information, you know. Yep, 5 naps. 5 naps. 5 naps.
Sarah about the door. I don't know about if that shows it, but we do have pictures of her door, and you can see the hinges where it's not hanging. That was for Love Shack Sarah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, we're going to be going out on tour next year, and we are working on some pop-ups through October. We don't know if it's going to be virtual or in person, but we're working on some things. And then I'm going to start pre-selling the tickets for the first leg of the tour, for the very first one from in January to March. Let me see. I'm going to tell you guys some of the places that we are going to plan to go. So let me grab my tours. So if it goes all well, no, not the UK this year. We can't do the UK next year. I just can't swing that. There's no way. But probably 2026, we're going to try and go more international. But yeah, I've spoken at a couple crime conventions, and we're working on organizing our own. So the first tour, what I'm looking at is January through February, going to Charlotte, North Carolina, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Charleston, South Carolina, Savannah, Georgia, Augusta, Georgia for you, Alicia, and Atlanta, Georgia. And then we're going to come home. And then in March, we're working on going to Fayetteville, Arkansas, which I'm hoping to get into this this true crime podcasting thing there. Then there's going to be Memphis, Tennessee, Tupelo, Mississippi, Birmingham, Alabama, Huntsville, Alabama, and Pigeon Forge. I will come to Springfield, Missouri at some point in time, but not right now. Then I'm looking at Denver, Colorado, Salt Lake, Utah, Boise, Idaho, Klamath Falls, Oregon, and Las Vegas, Nevada. Then hopefully in June and July, we'll be in Pittsburgh, Atlantic City, New York, Boston, Boothbay Harbor, and Prince Edward Island in Canada. August will be in Tennessee for sure, because I know I'm going to be at Nashville this year, probably. And then in October and November, we're looking at doing Florida, like Miami, Orlando, Daytona, New Orleans, Austin, San Antonio, and Dallas. And that then we will take off for, the holidays and be back out in 2026. So, and we're putting all the shows together. So yeah, Texas is coming at the end of the year. If I can get them all, up and running. Here's the thing, guys. This is the thing. Okay? Look, it's all out of pocket. I don't have a publisher that's affording this. I don't have a big trust fund. I don't have any of those things. So if you want me to do this tour, because we can make this happen, but I'm going to need you guys to, one, promote it for us for sure. Make sure everyone knows. Put it out there. As soon as you get the dates, put them out there. Do all of that. And yes, I want to come to Alberta, Canada as well, but Prince Edward Island is a dream of mine. It's on my bucket list from Anne of Green Gables. So that's where I'm going first, because I happen to get, something in Boston that I wanted to go to. So, we're trying to do that. Oh, you live in Mobile. That's where my father lives, unfortunately. So we are trying, but what I need you guys to do is to, as soon as we release the dates, please go buy tickets, because you don't have to do a GoFundMe. You don't have to do any of those things. If you buy the tickets, we are able to come. If the tickets don't get sold, I can't come. That's the thing, right. So, and we're trying to do we're trying to do Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in every one of these towns. Then we'll do some business stuff. We'll be on radios. We'll do promotions. If anybody would like to volunteer to put up, posters in your area or any of those things, we are welcoming that. So that's what we're putting together. I do have a PR person that's helping us put together some radio shows and stuff, and she said she's a promoter, and she does want to start a GoFundMe for us to hire a good PR, but I have some people willing to help out with this. So it's all kind of shoestring budget, but I really want to come everywhere to see you guys. Yeah, so I absolutely, oh great, thank you. So yeah, if you guys are interested in helping, for it all. I would be very appreciative of that. And okay, the Manda me has a joke. She wants to know, what do you call two bananas laying on the floor? A pair of slippers. Thank you, sweetheart. Oklahoma is not on here, but it doesn't mean that I was looking at it in the leg of, Texas, New Orleans, Florida kind of thing. So we might be able to squeeze it in. I don't know. Trying. I would love to just hit every freaking state, every freaking city, but I can't do all of that in one freaking year. Amy and I do have other things that we need to do too. It's already going to be a lot for us to be out on tour all year long and still trying to, make content and do other things. But, thank you, Carissa B. You're so sweet. Thank you. Thank you. But that's our plan. We want to try and make this. I'm hoping to at least do 3 of these tours of the 5, that would make me very pleasantly happy if we got all of those. Yes, we are planning on coming to Louisiana. That is definitely one that's going to happen. And it's happening in November because I'm going to try and get to BoucherCon because I was supposed to speak at BoucherCon when COVID hit. So, yeah, but that's what we're doing this next year, guys. Carissa, I might be coming to Louisville sooner than you think. I'm here in Louisville. So we're talking about, like I said, some pop-ups. So if you want to come to Louisville, I'm working on something. Lexington, maybe Indianapolis, maybe Cincinnati. We're doing some things. Love them. Alrighty, guys. So I'm going to sign off for the night. Thank you all for joining and being with us. Thank you for liking and sharing this out. Catch the replay if you missed anything. And we will be putting the TikTok one up too, so you can hear Mac better and any of the questions that were being asked over there that you might not have heard well. So you can kind of scrub through it and hear some stuff that Mac says. But I thank you so much for joining us and have a good one from The Good Wife, serving up true crime, one dish at a time. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Mwah. Thanks, guys. Bye, guys. Have a good one.